Hi everyone, it's Cindy, and I have a kind of a different kind of haul. My sister, well, actually at one time five of us sisters, did elder care. We took care of, it was basically private duty aid to elderly people or infirm people. And Hazel was the last one doing it. She just recently, this last winter, took care of an elderly lady in her last months, and when the woman died, she had an apartment full of stuff, and her nephew paid Hazel to go through the stuff, and she could take whatever she wanted. He absolutely did not care what she took. She didn't take much, but she called me and she said, there's a few linens here that you might be interested in, and if you want them, I'll bring them up. And I said, sure. So she did, and this is what she brought me. Some of it's pretty cool. There was this piece of, it's a handkerchief, I'm sure, or maybe, yeah, it's got to be a handkerchief. It's too small for to be a scarf. But it is the finest fabric. I mean, it's so sheer, and it was whiter. I tea-dyed this yesterday with some paper that I was doing for my next books. But it just, it's got some holes in it, and it's definitely in bad shape. Well, I'm going to iron it up, I think, when I iron the paper. But it would work really well behind bits and pieces to give it some texture, just like we use cheesecloth. But I'm not even sure what this is. It feels really silky, and I'm wondering if it is silk. So, yeah, anyway, got that. And there are several others of those. Let me skip down to those while we're in that mode. But they're not as fine, and I don't know if I've just worn more, but here we go. And they have these lovely stitched corners. As a seamstress, I appreciate those things. And again, it's very sheer. And there's nothing on them as far as design goes, but they're just lovely fabric. Here's another one. Actually, two more. So, yeah. You can see the difference in the color since I tea-dyed this one. Yeah. So, four of those. And then there was this little sweetheart of a handkerchief with this. I guess it's this way. I don't know. No, that's the back. Definitely. Don't really know. Anyway, see if the other one's any better. It's got four corners of embroidery, and I thought we could, especially, I might put some different color in it, a vat of dye, and maybe use some food coloring and see what happens, just to bring out that color a bit, or that design a bit more. So there's that. And then this lovely piece, with all this beautiful embroidery. It's quite a large piece. I think I would use that on a cover. It's so pretty. But again, it's that super fine, I don't know, is this voile? Or voile, or however you say it, when it's with a V? I know if it has a T, it's toile. But I don't know if it's voile. With a V. But anyway, it's just lovely. And so there's that design there. And then one other corner has just a tiny little bit of embroidery on it. It'd be nice for a little snippet. So, yeah, I guess it goes that way. Yeah, it goes that way. So, yeah. And then there were several pieces. Well, here's another hanky. And this woman traveled a great deal. And she spent many years, I should say for several years, living in India. And some of these are hand-done, and I wonder if they were done when she lived there. This one with the cut work, so pretty. But again, that sheer fabric. Now this one doesn't feel to me like silk. It is sheer, but it doesn't, But there are four of these little panels on the corners, so, yeah, they could be fun little flips or whatever. I guess that's it for the napkin. So Then there are a couple of doilies. This one's obviously seen better days on the ends. It's got, obviously torn out both ends. But the center is this really tightly crocheted piece. And I think it could be, I'm not sure what exactly I would do with it. Even a cover and then build on that for the base of a cover. Yeah, I like that. And here's a small one that's sort of an ecru. And very pretty. And I would definitely just use that on a book. It's perfect size to just wrap a book in. And so yeah, love that. And this one's very similar to that other one that's fallen apart, although this one is it's a square, and it's in much better condition, but it's got that same dense crochet in the center. And so I'll probably cut that up. And here's one that's just like it, and its ends are equally ragged. So I'll be whacking that up, I'm sure. Now these are a few placemats, and these are all from India. There's labels on them. The fabric has they're layered. You can feel that there's some substance to these things. This one has, it's very unusual, I think. I would never have put that green ribbon on this blue fabric. It looks nice, and this stripe here is very, very textured. This is more smooth. I mean, it's obviously a casual sort of cotton fabric, but then it's got this design woven in that's got real texture to it. So, yeah, there's a book cover out of that, I'm sure. And this pink one has, no design whatsoever, but the fabric is very similar to this part, but it's finer. But I don't know if you can see the texture, but you can hear it. And again, book cover, definitely. I would cut them down, probably cut the border off completely. Although it would be wonderful if I could do a book that size and just use the whole thing. And then this one, again, they were definitely manufactured in India, and I know she lived there for a while. She lived in Japan for a time, and I didn't see anything, that kind of goodies. Hazel did bring some other stuff home that I haven't seen. But again, I think that would make a really nice journal cover base anyway. So, yeah, that's my little linen haul. It's the first time I've gotten any linens to whack up and do anything with, so for me that's kind of exciting. I do want to show you one more thing. Okay. I don't know if you remember the fabric I had purchased to make prayer journals with, but I threw them in some tea dyeing yesterday, and this is how they turned out. Upside down, but it doesn't matter. So, I don't know. It's kind of grubby looking, but I think they can make it work. The one thing I don't like is on this bigger piece, this is going to be a wrap journal. And I'm hoping I can just live with it or work with it. But a couple of places it's got real distinct lines of tea. And not sure how I feel about that. But so just all part of the faux aging process, I guess. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I finally got my paper tea dyed. I used the tub method, where you layer the papers and spray each one as you put it down, and then you can put different things in to give texture and pattern. And the tutorial I saw, the woman had a big old vinyl lace tablecloth that had cut work, and she used that between the layers of her paper and got the most beautiful design. Now, I don't have anything like that. I am on the lookout for it, but I don't have anything like that. And I'm going to pass that along to my daughter-in-law, because she has access to all kinds of good stuff. Anyway, so she just would layer those things, spray, layer, and then just let it sit. She would put it like in front of a heat source or out in the sun. I put mine, or my husband did for me, put it out in the yard for most of the day. And when he brought it in, the top layers were basically dry. And I was able to peel all the layers apart and spread them all out. My craft room looked like what my mother would have called a Chinese laundry. I had paper draped over absolutely everything. And I have 2 screens that my husband got for me at the Habitat Restore, and they're like 5 foot long and 2 foot wide, and they make a great place for drying paper. So I had those stacked and layered with paper, and like I said, every surface and anything that wouldn't poke through my poor little paper as it was damp, I draped it over. So got a good bunch of paper, and I plan to do more with that method. I do want to get a bigger container, but the one I used worked. I just used an old basin, and it wasn't quite as big as an 8.5 by 11 paper, but that was okay. I think that's where I got my lines from, though. Not having a large enough space, but I think it's okay. So, yeah, now I'm rambling, but please like, comment, subscribe, come back, and thanks for watching.